Hey everyone, it's Nancy, and today we're going to do a basic yoga stretch video. So, if you're like me and your practice has been a little bit on or off again over the past few months, or if you are new to yoga, or if you do yoga all the time and you just want a very short snippet of a practice today, come on with me and let's do some yoga. So, we're going to start. I'm going to sit on a block, but you could sit on a cushion or a stack of um, books, just something to lift your body a little bit off the ground so that it's easier to sit in neutral spine. All right, here we go. This first part might feel a little bit like a stretch for some of us or some parts of it, but it's really a warm up for the torso. So putting your hands on your knees, just round the spine over. Let your head relax. You might feel a little stretch in your neck. Exhale, pull in your abdominals, stack your spine up. Externally rotate the arms, fingertips to the ground. Small back extension. Exhale, pulling your abs to recover. Do that one more time. Rounding the spine over. Hands could go to the floor. Maybe you lower your head a little more towards the floor. Exhale. Pull in your abdominals. Stack your spine up. Externally rotate the arms. They're there for support. Small back extension. This back extension happens mostly in your thoracic curve or your upper back. All right, let's do lateral stretches. So left hand to the floor, right fingertips to your right shoulder. Ooh. I tell you, this is a stretch for me. I mean, we don't do this kind of movement very much in our day-to-day lives, unless we're at our desk chair and we drop a pen to one side. All right, let's lift our right elbow. That might deepen your stretch. And you could also extend your arm overhead. I am getting a stretch out of this besides just a warm up for the spinal joints. Exhale, pulling your abs, lift up, change arms, right fingertips to the ground, left fingertips to its shoulder, and curve your spine to the right. Keeping the waistline easy. Lift the left elbow, deepening the stretch. Extend the arm if you want to, if that feels good. I'm going to let my head gaze down at my fingers. Exhale, come on up. Last of the 6 directions of the spine for a warm-up is rotation. So we're going to start with hands at our heart in Namaste. I'm in neutral spine. That's actually why I'm sitting on the block. Helps me sit up taller, not be kind of curved over. Right, hands at my heart. Rotate to the right in my waistline. Upper back and neck. I'm just going to barely open my arms. Well, my arms are going to open. Left hand to the inside of the left knee. I'm barely going to add just a tiny bit of pressure. I'll deepen the twist a little bit, not too much. Exhale back to center and Namaste. Other side. Rotate in the waist. Upper back. Upper back does not move. It's fairly, not a lot of mobility there. And then the neck, turning to the left. Or to look at the dog. High river. Opening the arms, right hand to the inside of the right knee. Add a teaspoon of pressure. Legs are relaxed. Face is relaxed. Exhale back to the center and Namaste. All right, so we just did kind of a nice warm up going through the 6 directions of the spine. Forward, backward, lateral, and rotation. Let's do a little bit of stretching for the legs now. So I'm going to face different directions to give you different vantage points. We're going to start with our right leg extended in front. Left foot could be anywhere on your right leg. It doesn't really play a big part in this. First of all, we're going to sit in neutral spine. And I'm just going to flex at the ankle, and I can already feel a stretch in my right calf muscle. So stretching, and let's point. Might feel a stretch on the top of your foot. That's not something we often do, is it? Stretch one of those, each one of those again. Flexion and extension. Pull the toes back and pull the ankle back. Let's do a forward fold now. We're going to try to hinge from our hips. So we're not starting with a rounding of the spine. We want to keep that in neutral. Hinging forward like an inch or maybe 2 inches. So that's my limit with a neutral spine and not hurting myself. So I'm just going to pause here. I'm going to push it. If this is excruciating, here's what I want you to do in this right knee. Just bend it a little. You can put your fist underneath it, and that really takes the strain out of your right hamstring. All right, now, if you want to, you don't have to, just round a little bit through the spine. Hands are on the floor for support. Notice I'm not holding on to my leg, yanking, and I'm really not trying to bring my forehead to the knee. That may come in a month or two, or not at all. I am getting a stretch. That's the point. That's our starting point. And that's my goal for today. All right, I'm going to start stacking my spine again, moving from rounded to straight. And I walk my hands back as I exhale. Here we go. I'm going to face forward this time, doing the other leg. Right foot can be anywhere you want it on the left leg. And let's just start with a flexion of the left ankle. Feel it in your calf. Wow. And move into an extension or a pointing of the whole top of the ankle and top of the foot. One more time, each of those. Flexion and pointing. If the bottoms of your feet ever feel like they're ready to contract and cramp, go back into flexion right away, which is where we're going now. So gentle flexion, start with neutral spine again, and hinge forward in your hips. And again, I only go like an inch or two with my back in neutral. Whew. So that exhale is there to remind me and you to relax in a stretch. Stretches sometimes feel a little bit like pain, but we always know that we can immediately back out. Or if we just wait, if we're just patient in a stretch, not pushing too far, if we wait, if we're patient, not going too far, we breathe. Often I feel like, oh, and there, and something will just kind of melt. All right. If you want to, you can round a little bit through your back. Hands are underneath the shoulders on the floor so that we're supported here. Oh, there. See, you probably couldn't see it on camera, but I melted. It's just this delicious feeling of, oh, there, my body to let go. It's really sweet. Gotta wait for it though. Let's exhale, pull in the belly, walk yourself up. Ah, all right. Let's put legs in front of ourselves. We did that hamstring and calf stretch and foot stretch. Let's just roll our knees side to side. You actually might feel a little bit of a stretch in your hips as you do this, especially in this top leg where there's an internal rotation of the leg, of the hip, of the leg in the hip joint, to be precise. Okay, let's come out of that. Next thing we're going to do is our big lunge. And this is great for the front of the hips, our hip flexors. It's great for the biggest one of all, the psoas muscle that starts in our back, goes diagonally through the body and attaches in the front of the leg. That's great for a release of the hip and the back. It's really magic. All right, so let's grab either a block or a book, or if you have a chair nearby, you can lean onto the chair. Okay, so I'm going to put my block on my left side, and I'm going to bring my right leg in front of me. All right, so I just start transferring my weight forward. Oof. So the block is here. I get to put my weight on the block, and it's sort of like a brake in the car. So it prevents me from going too far forward or too far down into this stretch. So I can really, and I just need to adjust my block a little bit where my weight is, where I feel I can best lean on that block. All right. And push yourself back, exhale. So that is a deep stretch for the hip flexors, and it's that deep stretch for the psoas muscle. So now let's do left leg forward. I'm going to change my block so it's on my right side. I start with a straight leg, and I transition my weight forward. Wow. Okay, so my wow there is the difference between my two sides. My right side, hip flexors, wow, it's so much tighter. But then it's my driving leg. I drive quite a bit. I just drove 8 hours on Monday. Wow. So I'm telling myself, don't overdo it, don't overdo it, don't overdo it. And I'm going to come out. Exhale. I find my front foot and I push back. All right. So the last thing we're going to do, at least that I'm going to do on camera right now, is just a reminder of belly breathing. So as I say in my description, we move through our life right now, so many of us, maybe not you, and if that's true, awesome. But so many of us are unconsciously tight. Maybe we're at our computer and we lift our shoulders and we get tight levator scapula muscles or a jaw muscle if we're tense and we're even clenching, or we're driving a lot and our right leg is just tight as we go between the pedals. We often have a lot of tense muscles. That can impact breathing, because if we're tight through the middle of our body, then we can't belly breathe. So it's really experiment. See what you can find out about yourself today. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to have loose belly. I'm not going to hold it in and try to have a flat stomach or anything like that. I want to breathe down here in the belly. If you find yourself breathing somewhat up in your chest, or if belly breathing is a new concept for you, guess what? You can practice. No worries about that at all. So let's have feet spread apart. And yeah, just wiggle and waggle and get yourself comfy. So I'm going to put my hands on my belly just to remind myself that that's actually where I do want to breathe. Okay, so I cue it this way. On an inhale, my belly increases a little bit. On an exhale, my belly empties. Increase on an inhale, empty on an exhale. So none of this is forced. I take a breath in. I allow my belly muscles to expand. Almost, you might think of a little bit like a balloon. And then on the exhale, the balloon empties. On the inhale, the belly gently rises. On the exhale, the belly empties and floats back to its resting position. So that's belly breathing. You can stay right where you're at for, 3, 4, 10 minutes if you want to. It helps calm our nervous system, which in turn moves us out of our fight, flight, freeze or our stress response, and it moves us into our rest, digest, and heal response. Okay, I am going to sit up and conclude this video. But even those few breaths I took in, kind of a modified Shavasana pose felt good to me. So experiment with that. Like I said, if belly breathing is new to you, you've breathed well enough to get yourself to this point. But it is a good thing to help us calm down, to regulate our nervous system, and it's good to use it with our stretches. It helps our whole body and mind just kind of let go and not think of stretching too far or too much too soon. With that, I hope that this was a beneficial practice. Please leave a comment if you learned something, and please subscribe and come back next week for another yoga video. Take care, everyone. Namaste. How was that, River? River said it was wonderful. He had a great relaxation practice under the table.